Hey everybody, it's been a while. Just want to say thanks for being patient. And in this video, this next devlog, I'm gonna be going over, of Cairo and see how it's been changing. See how I've been updating since the last recent, or not recent, but just from like last year. So just gotta go ahead and explain a few things and kind of show y'all a little bit of what to kind of expect. Just know that this footage is not current. It has changed a little bit over the course of time, but for the most part, it is following the same, pretty much the base level of it. So just give me 1 second and we'll go ahead and dive into this. It's going to be events. All right, so just going ahead and diving a little bit into events. You can think of them as like flags or just other sense of terminology, but pretty much when you think of an event, it's pretty much what is triggering something to happen. And this is either can happen with like initiating a cutscene, or even just like something that is happening around the player. And in this case, it's Kairo, and I'm incorporating dialogue as an example for this episode. So you're going to go ahead and see as I progress or move around the level, there's going to be flags and events that will launch and just basically bring up the UI that I've developed. So I'm just going to go ahead and just click play for y'all. So that way y'all can just witness this pretty much firsthand. So in this case, this is the basic level of Cairo's home. And of course, everything is art drawn by me back when I was developing these prefabs, right? Just getting the level design up and going. So if you notice, whenever you move, and if you go at a certain point, you'll notice that this dialog box will pop up. And of course, it's going to be either whoever's talking and what they are saying. So these flags kind of repop up now and then. So you can see how he says, let's head to Samara. So of course, game follows more of a left to right approach as far as a linear level design. In this case right here, you can see there's a exclamation point. So just kind of gonna go over that to see if it will flag. I think it didn't flag in this case. There's many errors that I go through that I debug, but there's supposed to be an event that happens, and it's basically gonna bring up the dialog box and explain, okay, like, whoa, like what's happening here, right? Let's see if it will trigger. So in this case, I started again. This probably got fixed, by the way. Just kind of wanted to show y'all. So boom. Now in this case, this is what I incorporated as a stop character event. And in some events in my game, I'm gonna have the player unable to move. So think of it, you're moving throughout the game, and then your player pauses, and then there, introduces either another character, or there's something that happens within that current scene and you're unable to move, right? You're unable to do anything besides just click continue. In this case, after you finish the dialogue, choose whatever choice, etc., you're able to move freely. And of course, you're able to interact with this event. And you're able to move around as well and, confirm it or continue it and go back to it. So this can work a lot for NPCs whenever you're wanting to re-talk to the NPC. And if you notice, these question marks that I have in the game are pretty much interactable events that cause something to happen. So I kind of split it between the two. So exclamation points are more of just like sudden dialogue or sudden, stop character movement, play dialogue events. Question marks are things that will happen. So like if you, for example, like opening a chest or opening a door, in this case, that leads to something happening. So in this case, I'm just going to kind of like sit through it and show you a good intro of pretty much beginning to end with these different events, right? Don't worry, everything's been updated. It doesn't look like this now. Going sitting through this. So of course, This is a very, as soon as the character drops in the scene, you can see Kairo's not able to move. So it's kind of like an introduction to the game. And it starts off with Nyx. All right, off to Samara. So I can't move or do anything. I have to read the text. Think of it like a tutorial. Gives the player like, oh, where do I need to go? We just need to follow this path. Okay, I got critical information allowing me to know where I need to go. And I can, you know, just continue. And if you saw that jump, there was just a transition from making so that you can now control Kairo. You can move around in the scene. You can now do stuff. You can jump. You can go wherever you want. Exclamation points are interactive dialogue things that may happen, or just simple like pieces of information. These are just test blocks. Don't worry about those. So in this case, you see an exclamation point, right? Think of it just like simple dialogue. Nothing's really going to change, but if you notice on the top right hand corner, it triggers my autosave feature. So you'll kind of see as I get closer again, boop, pops up. I can interact with this. So think of this blue beam as an NPC. In this case, it's Nyx, you know, explaining some detailed information to help you out. Same thing. I'm interacting. I'm in the range of interacting with this bubble. And of course, you know, I have, you know, additional information, right? And checkpoints. I'm in interacting range. Gives the player a sense of awareness and, you know, getting used to the physical environment. And as you can see, Kairo's not able to move. He's like stuck. I just left it that way just as an indicator to know I can't do anything. Does a little jump. And now he's able to move. I can still interact with things, re-interact. And, you know, just in case I forget, gives a little quick summary. And of course, I backtrack, right? Backtracking is, you know, it's a method to ensure that you kind of explore the world around you, or forcibly explore the around you. More pieces of information, I can't go past this way. But if you notice, there's a question mark. So that means this may trigger something physical, physics related, gain an item, etc. Like anything like that. And that actually deletes this this bridge thing. It's kind of like I guess you can say like a trap door in a way. In interact range with this bubble again, brings up more information about what's new in this area. Just talking about lights, physics. It illuminates the area around me. And just going through this. Floating exclamation point now is scaling up and down again. So it means I'm in interact range. And of course, able to bring up that UI text box, dialog text box. So I'll start off lastly in Samara. So in this case, we transition to a different scene. And of course, we're in Samara. In this case, since Kairo is moving in a way, I'm able to move Kairo, but I choose not to. And of course, I'm just going down and going to head into the village. Event flag right there, just simple UI, auto save animation going. And then as I get close to my first NPC, I didn't include exclamation point, but just pretend there's one there. Trying to make it so that way the exclamation point will appear as soon as you're like within distance. Because I don't want all these exclamation points and UI elements like all around the scene. Like, it's like clutter. So I'm trying to make it so that way when you're within range, it will go from being transparent or disabled into it'll show that exclamation point. Or commas, or dot periods. And if you notice, I went through the shop because I need to talk. This is kind of like a quest, a hidden quest. So there's currently no interaction right here. I'm not able to interact with anybody. And I got to find the first, I got to find Konsu. And you may think like from your perspective, like, oh, that's him, right? But you don't know what this character looks like initially. So you're just talking to people, trying to figure out, I think I wasn't able to talk to him. So you're just pretty much exploring the world around you, trying to find that person, and then you have the same dude, right? Important critical point of interest, and he brings up Konsu. It's like, oh, I saw him at the market, right? And you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's that person, right? And in the event, if I do forget, like I accidentally like just, sometimes just skip the dialogue. I'm like, oh shit, what did he say? Then, I'm able to re-talk to him again to repeat the same information just to help me out or help the player out. So now I backtrack, I go back, and then I'm able to now initiate that event to go ahead and progress through the game. This is just other stuff that, exploring. So no matter which direction I come from, whenever I get to it, you see that question mark now? So that means there is something here that is going to happen. And in that way, I have to interact. Once I'm in range, then it says Konsu, right? So then that tells me, oh wait, it's this guy. Boom, transitions to cutscene, starts cutscene, and sit back and watch. Of course, there's more cutscenes it goes into. Like I said, I'm not able to do anything in this case. It's just kind of like in-game cutscenes where I just watch the events and watch the story unfold. So, but that's pretty much it. So I hope that this was very informative in showing you just a little bit of how my game is progressing. It's taken like a lot of time to come to this point, and I'm still very excited to show like what is current. Definitely go over. I'm probably going to show next video some exciting news sometime before the end of this month to give you just a special announcement. But other than that, definitely leave a like, comment, even subscribe. This channel is going to start kicking off as far as with more videos, definitely closer to the middle and end of the year. But no, appreciate your time, and I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and just stay tuned for more videos. See y'all later.